Dicing with poverty. 10 reasons why gambling will leave you in debts, broke and stressed. Welcome to the Highflyer Insights Channel. We have all heard, seen and witnessed heartbreaking stories, as people confess how they lost millions, watched their wealth vanish, to the relentless grip of gambling. Some have slipped into depression, while others, tragically, have seen no way out but to end their own lives. Well, despite this harsh and devastating reality, many people nevertheless find it impossible to resist the temptation to bet and gamble. Imagine a life torn apart, savings depleted, dreams shattered, all for the fleeting thrill of a win. The cycle of hope and despair tightens its grip, making rational decisions a distant memory. It's a subtle, insidious reality that beckons countless individuals, promising quick riches while masking the true cost. As we delve deeper into this narrative, we will uncover the psychological and financial pitfalls that make gambling a seductive yet dangerous escape, transforming lives in ways they never anticipated. We believe that through understanding and awareness, we can find ways to break free from this vicious cycle and foster a path towards true financial and emotional resilience. Let's get started. Betting often leads to financial problems in the long run because it exploits key psychological and financial vulnerabilities. We'll break this down and explore practical examples to gain a clearer understanding of these traps. 1. The thrill of quick win. The thrill of betting and the prospect of a quick win can be highly addictive. The anticipation of a possible win releases dopamine, making the act of betting itself pleasurable, regardless of the outcome. This immediate pleasure often outweighs the consideration of potential long-term consequences. Gamblers often chase the high of a potential win, ignoring the probabilities, and focusing on the immediate emotional rush. This can lead to increased risk-taking and larger bets, hoping for a big payoff. For instance, in developing countries, the allure of quick money from betting is highly tempting, given the economic challenges, exacerbated by poverty and high unemployment rates. The focus on immediate rewards can lead gamblers to make poor financial decisions, such as neglecting savings or spending money needed for essential expenses. The desire for a quick win often overshadows rational financial planning, resulting in risky behavior and long-term financial harm. 2. Addiction and compulsion. The thrill of winning and the despair of losing can create a cycle of chasing losses, leading to more money being spent in the hope of a big win. Addiction in gambling is characterized by an overwhelming urge to gamble, despite negative consequences, driven by the brain's reward system that releases dopamine during betting activities. Consider someone who starts gambling casually but gradually finds themselves spending more time and money on it. They might begin to crave the rush of placing a bet and feel anxious when not gambling. Over time, they start lying to family and friends about their gambling, borrowing money to cover losses, and neglecting personal and professional responsibilities. Despite the growing negative consequences, they continue to gamble, driven by both addiction and compulsion. 3. Emotional decision-making. When money is at stake, emotions can often overshadow rational thought, leading to impulsive and irrational decisions. This phenomenon is particularly evident in betting, where the prospect of quick wins can trigger intense emotional responses. For instance, consider a person who has just lost a significant amount of money on a bet. Driven by fear and regret, they might make an impulsive decision to place an even larger bet, hoping to recover their losses quickly. The intense emotions cloud their judgment, and they fail to consider the actual odds of winning. As a result, they end up losing even more money, exacerbating their financial problems. Emotional decision-making in betting can lead to a series of poor financial choices, depleting savings, accruing debt, and creating financial instability. It's essential for individuals to recognize these emotional triggers and develop strategies to manage their emotions effectively, such as setting betting limits, taking breaks, and seeking support when needed. 4. Sunk cost fallacy. The sunk cost fallacy is a cognitive bias that can heavily influence gamblers, leading them to continue betting in an attempt to recover their losses, because they've already invested significant time and money. This often results in a cycle of poor decision-making in an attempt to recover sunk costs. For example, a bettor who has lost a significant amount of money continues to bet more in hopes of recovering their losses, believing they've invested too much to stop now. Instead of cutting their losses, they often end up deeper in debts. 5. Marketing and accessibility. The gambling industry invests heavily in marketing, often targeting vulnerable populations. For instance, many gambling adverts maximize on the life-changing jackpot. The dream of a big win that could change one's life is incredibly enticing. The stories of winners create a false hope that they too could be the lucky one. In addition, the rise of online gambling makes it easier than ever to place bets at any time, often with just a few clicks. This constant availability heightens the temptation and frequency of gambling, often leading to compulsive behavior. 6. Peer influence. Being in a social setting where gambling is a common activity can create an implicit pressure to participate. For example, if all your friends are placing bets at a sports event, you might feel compelled to join, even if you had no prior intention to gamble. The need to fit in, or be accepted by peers, can override personal reservations. You might start betting just to be part of the group, or to avoid feeling left out. This can lead to making bets you wouldn't normally consider purely to maintain social bonds. For example, imagine you're at a casino with friends. Everyone is having a great time, placing bets and winning sporadically. You had planned to spend only a small amount, but, swept up in the excitement, and not wanting to be the odd one out, you start increasing your bets. Your friends cheer you on, and the adrenaline rush makes it hard to stop. Before you know it, you've spent much more than you intended, driven by the collective thrill and the desire to keep up with the group. 7. Gambler's fallacy. This is the mistaken belief that if an event happens more frequently than normal during a certain period, it's bound to happen less frequently in the future, or vice versa. This belief can lead to irrational betting decisions. For instance, a fan sees their soccer team lose 5 matches in a row and believes they're due for a win. Betting heavily on the next match, they ignore that each game is independently influenced by current factors like team form and the strength of the opponent. This misconception, driven by the gambler's fallacy, can lead to poor betting decisions and financial losses. 8. The illusion of control. The thrill of winning a bet can cause a rush of euphoria, leading to overconfidence in one's betting abilities. Believing their success is due to their skill, rather than luck, they decide to place larger, riskier bets. Convinced they have the strategy to keep winning, they ignore the randomness and inherent risks of the game. This overconfidence leads them to make increasingly reckless bets, eventually resulting in significant financial losses. 9. Escapism. Escapism through gambling often starts as a way to temporarily avoid dealing with personal problems or stress. The thrill of the game and the chance of winning provide a momentary distraction and relief from life's pressures. However, this temporary escape can quickly lead to a cycle of dependency, where the gambler increasingly relies on gambling to cope with their issues. This dependence can exacerbate existing problems and create new ones as financial losses pile up, leading to more stress and a deeper need to escape. For example, someone struggling with a stressful job might turn to gambling to unwind. Initially, it may seem harmless and even enjoyable, but as the person spends more time and money gambling, they might start neglecting work responsibilities, leading to job performance issues and even job loss. The financial strain from gambling losses can further compound their stress, pushing them back to gambling in an attempt to find relief, thus perpetuating a damaging cycle. This illustrates how using gambling as an escape can lead to severe financial and personal consequences, making the initial problems even more challenging to overcome. 10. Misuse and diversion of funds. Betting often leads to the misuse of money, diverting funds from essential expenses like rent, groceries, or healthcare, and causing financial instability. The immediate thrill of betting can overshadow the rational allocation of resources, leading to a cycle of debt and financial stress, where vital needs are neglected in favor of the fleeting excitement of gambling. Let's illustrate this. Think of a gambler who uses part of their monthly budget meant for groceries to place bets. When the bets don't pay off, they face the immediate problem of not having enough money for food. To cover the shortfall, they might borrow from friends or borrow using mobile apps, creating a cycle of debt and financial instability. Similarly, a bettor who diverts money from their retirement savings into betting misses out on the compound growth that investment would have provided. Over time, this decision can significantly impact their financial security in retirement, leaving them less prepared for the future. To wrap up this episode, let's recap the financial impact and other long-term consequences of betting and gambling. First, betting and gambling leads to significant long-term financial losses, resulting in accumulation of debts, bankruptcy, and a cycle of chasing losses. The ultimate end is depleted savings, lack of investments and overall financial instability as essential funds are diverted to gambling activities. The thrill and occasional wins often mask the harsh reality of persistent losses, which are almost inevitable, and hence the long-term trend tends to result in a net loss. This is largely due to the mathematical advantage that betting organizations, like casinos and bookmakers hold, known as the house edge. Over time, the odds are stacked against bettors, making consistent winnings highly improbable. Casinos and betting companies operate on the principle of the house edge, which ensures they profit over the long term. This small percentage advantage means that for every bet placed, a fraction of the money is expected to remain with the house, leading to inevitable losses for bettors over time. To illustrate this, consider a bettor who enjoys betting on football matches. They might experience a few wins that boost their confidence and lead them to place larger bets. However, the statistical likelihood means they will lose more often than they win. Despite a few high points, the overall trend sees their account balance steadily decline due to the house edge and the habit of reinvesting winnings back into betting. Second, neglect of financial goals. Resources that could otherwise be saved, invested, or used to pay off debts are funneled into continued betting, and this exacerbates financial decline. Third, stress and anxiety. The pressure to win back losses can create a cycle of dependency and stress, forcing individuals to continue gambling in an attempt to recover losses, further deepening their financial woes. This cycle can impact personal and professional lives, reducing overall financial security and physical well-being. Fourth, betting is a risky activity. Betting carries a high degree of risk. Outcomes are inherently uncertain, and there is always a chance of losing money. And fifth, addiction. Gambling can lead to addiction, characterized by compulsive behavior despite negative consequences. This addiction often requires professional intervention for recovery. The severe impacts of betting and gambling underscores the importance of mindful financial decisions and the need to seek help if gambling habits become problematic. Addressing these issues early can prevent further financial decline and promote a healthier financial future. If you found today's episode to be insightful, don't forget to subscribe to our podcast for more tips and insights on personal growth and success. Share this episode with friends and family who might benefit from it, and leave us a review to let us know your thoughts and which areas we should focus on. Until next time, keep striving for the best version of yourself.